Fans are filing in. The 49er faithful excited to get a front row seat to see their team in action as we welcome you live to Candlestick in San Francisco, California. It is the 49ers playing host to the Oakland Raiders on the AFA Game of the Week. No doubt this one has some potential postseason implications. Of course, all four teams will make it into the playoffs, but the beauty of the AFA is right now these teams are trying to hone their craft. The 49ers trying to make up some ground on the top-seeded Raiders. There's Brady White. I'm Cameron Duty, along with DJ Kilgannon. And DJ, of course, welcome into Candlestick, my friend. This should be a good one.
Absolutely should. We're playing, we're seeing two teams here. One, you could argue, is the most fleshed out, the best, if you will, team we've seen here in the AFA. On the other side of them, the Niners, a team who has shown, some spots of brilliance. This is a team that we have seen at their best can be very dominant. They have a very good run attack whenever it's able to take over games, as well as a very explosive offense. Their defense sometimes struggles a bit, though, and you can't struggle when you're playing against this Raiders offense.
No, indeed. I mean, this is a unit, this Raiders offense, that will absolutely bite you if you give them the opportunity. I think this is going to be an exciting game, folks. Of course, that's why it's the game of the week, and we welcome you in. Of course, big thanks to the Commissioner, Brady White, all the staff at the American Football Association. The ball is on the tee. Here comes the kick. You're not going to want to go anywhere for the next 4 quarters. Let's get this thing started. Here is a return out of the end zone. Brought back by Yaki Soba, crosses the 22, and that's where we'll get started. Let's say hello to the 49ers offense, led by quarterback number 8, Prince Wonder. The fullback, Evan Lacey, number 20. The running backs, Truman Dunn, number 47, and Yaki Soba, number 24. The wide receivers, Santiago Jaquez, number 11, Matthew Rogers, number 10, Kobe Flowers, number 17, and Tom Razor, number 81. The tight end is Jay Ballmer, number 80. First play, it's Truman Dunn, the halfback, runs right side for 2.
Yeah, and this is something we always talk about the Niners, is seeing how well they're able to get this running back core involved early and often. In my opinion, they are at their best whenever they're running first.
Indeed. We've talked about that at length quite a bit this season, how that just changes the dynamic for them. They do run again on second down, stopped immediately. And that's a good time to introduce this defensive lineup for the Raiders. Defensive tackle number 71, Colin Richards, leading the charge. Also, Kevin Beers on the line, defensive tackle. The linebackers are Nono Drew and DeMarcus Demolition. The 2 cornerbacks, Tater Toss and Tyron Voss. And the safeties, Van Lacey and DJ Kilgannon. Here is Prince Wonder with time to throw on third down, and it's just swatted away. Tyron Voss says access denied.
Yeah, great over-the-top coverage there from Voss. He came down from his over-the-top zone, and there was just no shot that ball was going to be able to get brought in. He saw the eyes of the QB, thought the receiver was open with how far back in zone he was playing, but was able to catch up very quickly.
Yeah, that's a fact. And here is a punt in this one early in this game as the 49ers have to turn it over, give the Raiders good field position. They'll start from their 45-yard line. Let's say hello to the quarterback, the field general, Brady White. The 2 halfbacks, Ashton Genty and Isabella Maccabees. The wide receivers, Dillian Voss, Trevor Austin, Chris Collinsworth, and Brian Kowalski. And the left guard, it's Jackson Oakley. On a 1st and 10, ball spotted, as we said, on the 45. Here's Brady White to throw over the middle, complete with ease to Trevor Austin.
There we go. This is the explosivity we talk about when we speak on this Oakland Raiders offense, the chance to make plays just like that.
Trips to the right. 3 receivers in a bunch set down there. Here is a handoff. They go up the middle with the halfback who gets nothing as we introduce you to this 49ers defense. The middle linebacker, Kevon Lurkland. The cornerbacks, Prince Wonder and Benjamin Simpson. And the 2 safeties, Storm Duck and Armani Lassiter. Here's White on second down, going to throw. Oh. Throws the big interception. Oh, my goodness, the big man jumping up there and making his mark. That is Monk making his mark on the INT.
Yeah, you can see the frustration from Brady there. Clearly not what you want in that first drive of football. I mean, you just can't make that throw. You see the The linebacker lurking there in the middle of the field, just trying to scan his eyes. Maybe tried to mislead him with the eyes a little bit. Tries to lead one over to Matthew Rogers on the slant, and just no luck.
But you know something on that, DJ? It looked very evident that the Raiders were going to be able to at least get in field goal range the way that
Yeah.
drive was moving. But that 49er defense able to step up, make a big play. Here's Wonder. The lefty throws again. Excellent umbrella coverage by Tater Tots to swat it away. Reaches over the hands of the intended target, Tom Razor.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it time and time again. This is the most flushed out secondary here in the AFA. This is a team that is very difficult to pass against. We've seen them get interceptions in flurries. So I'm curious to see if the Niners will stick with this game plan of throwing first.
Yeah, 2nd and 10. They will throw once again. Wonder. This time it's a nice little post route out towards the sidelines, finding Matthew Rogers for 6.
Yeah, there we go. And oh yeah, Brian Kowalski. I've got them mixed up a little bit earlier on a throw Brady White tried to make, but roster mix up there had me shooken up a second there. Oh man.
Here's a throw, and it's on 3rd down, batted away. That one looked a little short of the mark anyway. Lucky Tyron
Yeah.
Voss didn't pick that one off, and the 49ers have to punt it away. They can't get any points off the turnover.
Yeah, only managed one hand on that one there, luckily enough for the Niners. And they're going to escape. They're going to limp off the field with just a punt out of them. And, man, very slow offensive production from both teams so far.
This is a booming punt all the way back to the 20-yard line, where it is returned out to the 32 for a 12-yard gain for the Raiders. But my goodness, what a leg on that kicker for the 49ers.
Yeah, it was a great punt.
Absolutely. Brady White going to get a chance to right those wrongs of that first interception. Split backs there in shotgun formation. White going to go deep over the head of his intended target, which was Trevor Austin. So back to the drawing board on 2nd and 10.
Yeah, like we had mentioned earlier, a very strong receiving core here in Oakland. 4 receivers that could really go play anywhere in the league and have great success. But Brady White uses all of them very efficiently here.
Here's the snap. It is White once more. Look at that cannon arm. Going back to Trevor Austin. Gives him another opportunity. Comes up big with the first down grab.
Yeah, he's, early on in this game becoming the target that we're finding Brady White throw to quite a bit. You see the coverage drop back. That was Armani Lassiter who was backpedaling there to get back to his zone. Brady saw that and was able to connect with the in route over the middle just as he left the spot.
Here's the snap. We've got White dropping way back before he unloads out near the midfield stripe as he's able to connect with his wide out Dillian Voss for 5.
Yeah, and this is the 1-2 punch we've kind of seen all season long, Voss and Austin, right? They have really cemented themselves as the 1 and 2, like I said, and Brady relies on them pretty heavily in most games.
Here's Austin in motion. To the bottom of your screen, right side of the formation for Brady White. Will number 12 look for number 11? No, instead he just hands it off to Ash Tangenti. First carry of the day for Tangenti, and he doesn't get much. In fact, it's a loss, 3rd and 6.
Yeah, a lot of the times the Raiders are a very balanced attack because Ash Tangenti is a very talented back, but it seems early on in this first quarter that they are wanting to pass.
Yeah, and threading the needle, only Brady White, I think, can make that throw here, ladies and gentlemen. Finding Trevor Austin on a throw that honestly looked like it maybe was behind him, but yet fit into that seam. I don't know how to describe that one, DJ.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the only spot he could have put the ball, right? And sometimes, if you lead, you're going to reach a defender. If you throw it a little bit too behind, you'll find another one. He was kind of sandwiched there. That one was placed exactly where it needed to be. He was the only one who could have got it.
See a man in motion there for the Raiders. Here's White. Gonna throw. Finds his big tight end who was lined up there on the line. That is Johnson for the first down. The Raiders again on the move.
I mean, they're sharing the love early and often here on this drive. One thing we saw from that last drive, they had a big explosive reception, just like that one actually, early on in the drive. And then, it kind of stalled out from there. Oakland needs to stay consistent, and they need to be able to produce all the way down the field. Maybe we're seeing that production take place here.
1st and 10 once more. Here's White. Winds up,
Oh,
throws his second interception. That's very uncharacteristic of Brady White. A credit to this 49ers defense, and it's Armani Lassiter, the strong safety.
yeah, I mean, we've called Brady the gunslinger more times than I can count, and it's those type of throws that prove why he's not afraid to take the big shot. He had a receiver open in the middle of the field. I believe that would have been Collinsworth who would have had a clear shot to the end zone, but he threw the risky one, and it didn't go in their favor. And Cam, I do want to shout out Armani Lassiter. He joined pretty late in the season, but he has become a pivotal part of the San Francisco defense. I feel myself, and I hear his name almost all the time in these broadcasts.
Yes, I would agree. In fact, a great job of Lassiter to kind of undercut the trajectory of that ball to snag that one. Now here's Wonder throwing tip. I believe that was Kilgannon. Yeah, that was Mr. Kilgannon there on the tip, the strong safety to bat it away back to the drawing board for San Fran.
Yeah, they play him shallow quite a bit in a nickel spot to add a little bit of extra pressure onto quarterbacks, and as well as helping in shallow coverage. You see him again right off this offset line right there next to the 2, and he makes plays like that.
So here's 2nd and 10. It is a carry. There's Truman Dunn running hard. We know this guy's got some jets on him. If it hadn't been for Tyron Voss, that one could have went all the way to the house.
Yeah, and you had the safety short up in the box. You had the linebackers put on the edge of the defensive line to help secure the outside, and they just ran it right up the middle. And with the safeties out of position, right, all you had was corners back there to help clean it up.
Mm-hmm. He was getting off the line well and then cutting through the secondary at breeze. As you see right there, a nice hitch route. That is a completion. Matthew Rogers close to the first. They're going to say he's just inches short. But yeah, we've been a big fan of Truman Dunn this whole season.
Yeah. Heard rumblings about him here during the season, coming in the off season, whatever they might be. But yeah, he's been great this season.
Yeah, there he certainly has, and continuing to prove it on the field on each and every down of this current AFA season. The extra effort there to get the first proves good. First set of downs now for the 49ers, a fast-moving first quarter here. 2 minutes remaining in the opening frame. Wonder under center, quick 3-step drop, lets it fly, has his man, and he fits that into a tight window. So what he says there is that, Mr. Broadcaster, you said only one guy out here can fit that into a tight window like that. Wonder just proved me wrong.
He sure did, and Matthew Rogers really being the main guy here for San Francisco that's getting these catches. And again, it's another one downfield. San Francisco getting a very nice, well-sustained drive here. Got to keep it going as the field starts to shorten.
90 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Wonder again throwing as he finds his man Santiago Jaquez. And, we haven't talked much about their throwing form, DJ, but something about Prince Wonder, buddy, when he grinds off that back foot and really drives that football home as it leaves his hand.
Yeah, he's got a cannon on him for sure. He gets the ball from point A to point B in a hurry.
You can tell he gets a lot of his strength from throwing off that back foot as it is done. Fighting hard, close to the first. Not going to get it, but it's going to bring up a third and very manageable here for the 49ers.
Yeah, you need those type of plays. Now it makes the defense stay on their back, their toes. You can't, you can see anything at this point. A run, a pass, the whole playbook is open.
3rd and 3. Wonder with a good pocket to throw from. Almost throws the dreaded interception as that was No Drew sitting there in the middle, just blending into coverage and almost had the INT.
Yeah, I mean, he was exactly where he needed to be. It's almost like he knew how the play was drew up from the get-go. Not right grammar, but to get that pun in there, it'll have to do.
I liked it. I'll give you 2 thumbs up.
Heck yeah.
47-yard attempt from the right hash mark. Snap, the hold, the kick. It's going to wash wide left.
That landed in another county.
Yeah, it did. I think it made its way on over there to the Chase Center where I believe, isn't that where the Warriors play? Well, anyway,
so.
Yeah, that would have been a 3-pointer from deep.
The special team struggles continue today. The Niners have been a team that have struggled with that. I mean, the whole length of the season, it feels like.
Yeah. I think that this is a good opportunity to say, folks, if you feel like you can contribute to the special teams units of any of these teams, hey, it's an opportunity for you to get involved in the call. There it is, tipped away.
Risky.
Get involved in the game, right? I mean, that's an opportunity to do it. As we see a couple players getting involved, that's Benjamin Simpson.
Yeah, Benjamin Simpson involved. Armani Lassiter also there. Two great defenders in the area of the throw. And those are those gunslinger type of throws we talk about when it comes from Brady.
29 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Brady White now trying to shake off the early struggles in this one. Lines up in an I formation. We've got motion by Dillian Voss. Here's White, going to drop back, step up. Here's the throw. Tipped off 1-2 people in the vicinity. It falls to the ground harmless, except it's now 3rd and 4, or 3rd and 10 rather, I'm sorry, for the Raiders.
The Storm Duck, who was playing in a more shallow coverage there along the outside, able to get a hand on that one. Looked like they just wanted to go with a hitch route, like we've seen them do a lot this season to make the 3rd down more manageable, and didn't work.
Here's just a little pitch. We see them go to this sometimes. Yeah. The little flick of the wrist gets it to Ashton Genty, who is going to be short, unfortunately, though, of the first. Good tackle by big number 90.
You mentioned it, partner. This is something we see him do quite a bit, and I can't help but say it feels like that's the result we see more often than not.
Yeah, I would like to see that play removed from their playbook before they hit the postseason. Yeah. As we go to quarter number 2, nobody yet to get on the board or through the goalpost. You're watching the AFA on YouTube. We welcome you back. Cameron Duty here with DJ Kilgannon. A competitive first quarter where the defense has been the name of the game up to this point. You see the Raiders, once again, having to punt it away. San Francisco has come up with 2 interceptions. Although they've not been able to put points on the board from them, their defense playing a good game as they again force a punt. There is a return by Yaki Soba. The ball will be spotted at the 30 when they take over.
Yeah, it almost feels like who's going to score first in this one, Cam. But something tells me once we see one, we're going to start to see like a little bit of an avalanche effect. It always feels like that whenever, I feel like that's been the story a few times when these teams play.
Yeah, we've seen these two teams together enough to know, and what kind of contest we may see here. First flag of the day is Truman Dunn falls forward for a pretty good pickup. Let's see what the call is.
Yeah. Can't do that.
Yep. Not going to be able to get the hands up around the face there, and unfortunately, you see the price it pays.
Yeah, I mean, it's just small mistakes like that we see from this squad sometimes that makes these games, a little bit closer than we should have. It was something we talked about on our earlier broadcast, before we hopped on that. Oh my goodness. Ooh, had to stop there. That was nearly taken the other way. DeMarcus Demolition had his hands on it.
Ooh. Yeah, he sure did. And that guy's hungry for an interception, DJ.
He is. He wants one. He wants to make a big play for these Raiders. That's something we talked about in the other game, right, is the point differential. The Patriots actually lead the league in point differential by a pretty good margin. The Raiders not that high in the stat, which kind of tells you that their games are closer than not.
Oh, and what a hit. That was a completion through and through for Matthew Rogers. And then at the very end of it, look at the hit laid on here as we get a chance to see it on the replay. And I believe that was, Mr. Kilgannon once more, Mr. Kilgannon.
Yeah, that'll crack your jaw. That's the plays we like to see right there, partner.
As it's now 3rd and 10. Honestly, it's fun and refreshing to see a defensive game on both sides of the ball.
Oh, yeah.
In this nature. Empty set. We've got Kobe Flowers in motion. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Here's Wander going to roll out to the left. Throw to the middle of the field, throws the interception. Now there is a flag, so let's see what the outcome is. But for the moment, it's a turnover in favor of the Raiders.
Holding. Oh, it's on the defense.
Wow.
No. Wow, you can't do that.
No, you
Let's see it.
cannot.
Let's see.
There it was.
Yeah, I mean, that's past that 5 yards. You make
Yeah.
contact. And man, you
Eh,
didn't even need to do it.
no, because the ball
Oh,
didn't even make it, to
yeah,
that side of the field.
yeah. Yeah, that and he threw it to the guy that got pushed, but another
Yes.
defender's the one that made the play. Those are the small mistakes we're talking about, partner.
Exactly. And it's what keeps this game so razor thin, on
Yep.
the margin, as we see a nice gain on first down of 6, finding Rogers there.
Those tater tots playing a little bit of cleanup. They have so many defensive backs that are great in coverage, but they're really good at stopping the run too. Obviously that wasn't a run, but tater tots, excuse me, cleaning that up is almost like a run.
Dunn trying to make something happen up the middle there as the pile just kind of got stagnant, and No Drew takes advantage with the stop. Now 3rd and 4.
Yeah, speaking of stopping the run, that's their guy that fits the bill. I mean, despite his mistake earlier, he is a fundamental part of this defense.
Here's a throw off the left arm, complete to Rogers out in the flat. Nice read that time by Prince Wonder.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing good football right now. He's seeing these corners for Oakland drop back into some deeper coverages, which is going to allow those shallow hitches to connect like we're seeing now.
Fast-moving game because of the defensive nature of it. We've not had many clock stoppages, and we're down to 5:40 remaining in this second quarter. Here is Santiago Jaquez in motion, trying to get it out there to him more. Rogers was in the vicinity, but boy, what a day that DJ Kilgannon's having up to this point.
Able to get his hand on another one. And, yeah, I mean, we're seeing them drop him into shallow coverages time and time again, and it's clearly working in their favor.
2nd and 10, throws contested, and that's Tater Tots. And we got a flag. What are we going to see here?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, well, that same guy we called Tater Tots on the deflection. They get him for a defensive PI. Wonder if we'll get a chance to look at this here. The answer is no.
No chance. Yeah,
no chance.
Trust them. As West Coast refs, though, I don't have a problem trusting them.
It's the East Coast where DJ begins to have his
right.
woes. Well, considering we just made a hop, skip, and a jump from the East Coast over to the West, the scenery today, beautiful, and the refs are feeling fine as we see a gain of 2 before Drew makes the stop.
Yeah, I mean, the Niners, like we talked about, having a very well-sustained drive up to this point. They just need to keep it up and keep attacking the weak spots they see in this zone defense that the Raiders keep continuing to run a good bit here.
And they're going to pitch it right side. Room to run. Pretty good blocking out front. And it's Dunn who's able to turn that into a pretty modest gain, and that will at least make this a 3rd and short situation.
Yeah, it makes your playbook a lot more open. We could easily see Truman Dunn gain 4 yards. The corners are playing more shallow, though. They probably shouldn't throw that hitch if it's in their wheelhouse.
Threading the needle again is Prince Wonder, but again, we've got already our 3rd flag. I feel like we may see, yep. Face mask again. This time they get Kilgannon, the strong safety.
Yeah, just too antsy there. And, I mean, we talked about small mistakes, partner, and, I keep harping on it, but that's the 3rd one we've seen on this drive alone. Scratch those out, and the Raiders probably have the ball back on offense already.
Yep, that is exactly right. It's provided a new lease on life for the 49ers, and it allows Truman Dunn to get in the end zone for the touchdown and the first lead of this game. It comes at 4:22 remaining in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, a big tell of this first quarter, the one we just had, was which team could score first and which team could sustain a drive all the way downfield. We saw both teams start to stall out around midfield, but the Niners took advantage of the opportunity where they were given, gave it to their bell cow back, and he punches it in the mouth.
Extra point now, up and good right down the middle. It's a 7-point game. That was an 11-play. Listen to this. 11 plays to move 30 yards, DJ. What a wild week 10 we're having here in the AFA.
Yeah, for sure, partner. I mean, the Raiders are gonna need a pretty big bounce back, and I mean, talk about mistakes. They've had some on offense too. 2 interceptions already in this game. I mean, if you keep making slip ups like that, we could easily see that 2-loss record drop to 3 in a hurry.
Yeah, that is indeed. But think about that 11 plays to move 30 yards, DJ. That was, of course, aided. That doesn't take into consideration all the penalty yards. And there were a lot
Yep.
on that drive.
A ton.
Too many for the top ranked team in the league to
That
be
is
making.
exactly right. Look at that soft coverage up top.
Yeah, look at that. You see nobody up there guarding on the right side of your screen. It is a give to Tangenti, who is able to pick up 4 with 4:10 remaining here in this first half.
There we go. That's looking a little bit more Raiders-esque. Run first, make your second and third down a little bit easier on yourself, keep the defense on their toes. You know, once they start predicting pass every time, that's when Brady's risky flair kind of gets in the way of things.
Indeed. And now we see Trevor Austin going out wide, moving from left to right of the formation, but they give to Gente. Excuse me.
Oh,
Big
there we
blocking.
go.
One man got an angle on him there, and he's finally shoved out of bounds as he is tackled after a big chunk of yardage for the Raiders.
That was a great play call, Cam. I didn't expect a run there. I certainly didn't expect a counter to that side of the field. You know, they motion the receivers, maybe try and take eyes away from that side of the field, and then they run back to it. I think it was a great play call that puts them at about midfield now. We've seen them stall out here in the past. Like we talked about, let's keep it consistent.
White will go back to the air, throws the out route, puts that where only his receiver can get it. It's a good pickup, gain of 5 to Voss.
Now, I'm not going to bring up my previous point just yet, but if Oakland is able to score here, I'm going to go back to something I said earlier. But, you know, they're certainly looking solid, but the drive is far from over.
Yeah, indeed. Here is a give up the middle again.
Wow.
That's Tangenti, who quite literally was weaving his way through the middle of that pile, and he picks up pretty good chunk, and that brings up 3rd and 1.
Yeah, very congested backfield that somehow he's able to escape from, and yeah, that was a very talented run, a very nice display of ball carrier vision there.
There is movement. That's number 89 for the Raiders going out wide there, but they give on 1 yard, trying to get the first, and Tangenti cannot do it. Now, I'm curious here. Is that enough to challenge? I feel like he may have fell forward there. No.
They're going to punt. Oh,
I got to say, DJ, I felt like the spot was a tad bit generous on the 49ers side there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looked about 1.5 yards off almost, and yeah, I didn't think it was close enough for them to challenge, but maybe they should have. Or at least the spot of the ball. Maybe the video would have showed something else. It definitely looked closer than it was called.
I just felt, DJ, that spot was a little bit, well, not in the Raiders' favor. Let's put it that way. And I think
I've
that
seen a bunch of penalties on the Raiders. I don't know, Cam. Sounds like you're brewing up a theory.
Oh well, no, don't get that on me here, DJ. That's your department, my friend. I gotta stay biased or unbiased here. Lord, listen to me. Tater tots with the deflection. About blew my cover trying to stay biased. That was terrible.
Yeah. Hey, it happens to the best of us.
Jet lag. That's what we'll call it.
Yeah, I was a far flight, I'll tell you that.
Well, you know, there's another theory that we're working up here as well for week 10 of the AFA, DJ. And that's the fact that we feel like we're seeing some of these teams kind of throwing everything out except the kitchen sink as far as the playbook goes. We've seen different formations and different play schemes out of all 4 teams today. That pass incomplete off the hands. You got to catch that. Intended for Jacquez. But seriously, we've seen different things this week 10, and it's led us to think maybe some teams are trying some different stuff before they have that playoff push. As that brings us to the 2-minute warning. But, you know, more of the same in this game, right, DJ? I mean, the Raiders kind of coming out looking a little more aggressive, not as balanced as we're used to seeing them.
Yeah, certainly. It's working in their favor. This is one of the instances we're seeing it pay off for an offense.
Yeah, indeed. Now here are the 49ers going to go
Oh
deep.
my
Oh, and
goodness.
off the. Was that off the hands? I believe that was.
It
Rogers
was.
looked like he had it given to him. I did see somebody go up and try to deflect it, but I couldn't see if they got a hand on it.
Yeah, I think it was Tater Tots who tried to make a play on it and couldn't. And then Matthew Rogers had a clear chance to pull it in and just unable to. That
So
would have
it's
been
just a
huge.
clean drop
Yep.
on
Yep.
third down. Well, it's a low snap. Had to about pick that up off the dirt and gets away a pretty good punt. The Raiders will have good field position, though, starting from their 48-yard line with a minute 43 remaining here in the half. Brady White still searching for that first touchdown throw of the day. It's not often that we say that
Yep.
deep into the second quarter. White going to throw. Little behind his man, looked like it was there, and looking for the flag is Dillian Voss, but he's not going to get one.
Yeah, not a whole lot of contact. I think that's just, a little bit too behind on the throw. Like you said, had to turn his hips, try and make a catch while the defender was behind him. Not the spot you want that football.
2nd and 10. You see the defensive line shifting there. Here's White, steps up briefly to throw.
Oh,
Just
wow.
enough, finding his man. Trevor Alston, it's a foot race. He's tackled inside the 15. For a moment, I thought he was gone, but that was Benjamin Simpson who took a last chance grab at getting him down.
Yeah, I'm shocked he was able to be pulled down after the separation he had, but a huge explosive play for Oakland to open things up.
So that does bring up a 1st and 10. Clock still running. Here's the give. Nowhere to go, and that's a loss of a yard. Quickly back to the line they come here.
Yeah, about just at a minute to go. As they're in the huddle here, they're going to hurry it back up. You need things to go your way inside the 15 here.
Inside of a minute. They are happy to just try to take this clock down as far as they can. Brady White, pressure in his face, gets rid of it to Voss, who steps out of bounds. This will bring up 3rd and 4. And yeah, Brady didn't have much of a chance there, did he? I mean, they were all over him.
No. And obviously, besides a touchdown here for Oakland, I think that's one of the better case scenarios you can ask for. You stop the clock, you no longer feel rushed. Your offense's playbook is now completely wide open with it being 3rd and very manageable. Right, gives you a second to rethink things and establish a better play call here.
3rd and 4, 3 receivers up to the top, throwing out of the backfield, trying to pick up the short yards. Look at Tangenti. Oh, and he gets close to the sticks for the touchdown, but they're going to mark him about a yard out on 1st and goal here.
Yeah, and I think that was a great play call. I mean, I could kind of see it was kind of happening there as they had that route tree set up, trips to the top, right? We see this offense like to throw out to the flats quite a bit, and there was just so much room for Tangenti to play with along that side.
Yeah, that was a great individual effort by Ashton Genty there. Now, lining up, finding his way in, finishes the drive that he helped carry. That's Tangenti for the touchdown.
There we go. Like I had said, once the scoring begins, the avalanche of points will follow. Now a tied 7-7 ball game as this second quarter comes to a close. And it's going to be hard for San Francisco to return any favors, at least in this half. And we should go into halftime tied.
Well, this is there's a reason this was called the AFA Game of the Week. This extra point is good. It's got everything we thought it would and then some. As we've got, you've seen a 6-play, 52-yard drive there, DJ. 36 seconds remaining. They didn't leave much time, as you said, for San Francisco to work with. We'll see just how aggressive they want to be before we go to the halftime break. Here's the kick. It will be returned, fielded at the 5. That is Soba bringing it back out. Or no, I'm sorry, that's not Soba, as a matter of fact. Typically, it is Yaki Soba. He does not bring this one back out, and you see the 49ers' possessions. Punts for the majority, although they did have 2 decent drives. One ended with a touchdown, one with a missed field goal. It could be a 10-7 game.
Yeah, I mean, that was from the 46. You've had field goal troubles all season. That almost, felt like you might as well try it while you're in the range of it, and it didn't work in their favor, though.
Here's a three-man front for the Raiders. Pressure now coming up the middle. It's Truman Dunn who breaks through for 5, and that may give you an idea of what they want to do at the final couple of seconds here of this half.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine they're happy conceding at half. They had a really good first half of football, right? They were able to get points first, and then they did let up the touchdown, but man, they played pretty clean.
They certainly have. I feel like this has been an effort of them playing above what their record has suggested.
Yep.
As we move to the halftime break, folks, all knotted up at 7 in what has certainly been the perfect candidate for AFA Game of the Week. We welcome you into the AFA Halftime Report. Cameron Duty and DJ Kilgannon here as we take a look at the first half stats and go over what if we would like to see anything changed in the next 2 quarters. Pretty even across the board, DJ.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as things to change leading into that last, before that last drive for Oakland, I would have said that I would like to see Ashton Genty get the ball more. And they completely took those words out of my mouth on that last drive. And they had a drive that, I mean, inevitably he ended up scoring on, and a drive that he helped put together, right? They got him a lot more involved in that last drive. But for the Niners, they're playing they played a very clean half of football. Only 7 points to, answer for as far as what can they do different. You just got to, be a little bit more, unexpected on offense. We're seeing him attack the hitch routes quite consistently. Those posts to Matthew Rogers get brought up quite a bit. Truman Dunn obviously running the ball a great deal. But as far as who's played worse, it's got to go to Oakland. The 2 interceptions from Brady, the multiple flags that allowed the Niners to score on offense, right? I mean, I think the San Francisco just needs to mix things up a little bit.
I think the word is uncharacteristic out of the Raiders up to this point. Uncharacteristically sloppy so far in this first half. We'll see if they can tighten it up. Raiders are going for their 3rd straight win. But for the 49ers, they're looking for their 2nd straight win and, trying to climb out of a little bit of a deficit they got themselves in here coming into this game 4-5. They'd like to end this regular season right at 500 with a 5-5 record before we head to the postseason, which looms just around the bend. I think we're all excited to get to that indeed, in what has been a very successful opening season of the AFA, and we're just now getting to the good parts, folks. Start of the 2nd quarter now coming at you. Oakland will receive the football, and we'll see what they can do their first time out here in the 3rd. Here's the kick. This one will be brought out. Crosses the 20, not much more, maybe out to the 23, and that's where they will spot it. Brady White in the huddle, directing plays. We'll see what they can come up with. 1st and 10, split backs in shotgun formation there. Pressure looks like it could be coming from the edge. It's picked up, throwing into tight window. Another flag, though this time it looks like it may be on the 49ers.
Pass interference, number 93.
Yep, looks like it.
The ball is placed at the spot of the foul.
Yeah, they get number 93 of the 49ers there for the infraction, and that is a free first down for those Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, still able to catch it despite the interference there. So a very nice pass and play there from Austin.
Here is a give. Tangenti
Oh!
running hard, bouncing at left side. It's a foot race. Are they going to get it? Starting to pull away, putting on the Jets. They can't get him to the house. Touchdown. What a display by Ashton Genty.
Talk about exploding into this second half and getting a little bit more involved. One play was all Tangenti needed to be able to turn it on and turn up the heat here for San Francisco. Their backs against the wall now after a huge play from Ashton Genty.
And just like that, Oakland takes their first drive, or should I say the opening seconds of this first drive of the 3rd quarter, and jump out to the 13-7 lead. And boy, I tell you, as the extra point is good. We talk about the run game, and I think in our ages here, maybe we're a little bit more of an old soul than what our birth certificates would show, DJ. We are two guys who just love a good running offense. And that's something
Oh
that,
yeah.
teams want to go high flying through the air. You can't beat a good running game.
Yeah, not. I mean, absolutely. Whenever you're running, you're controlling the tempo. It feels like you're being, the more physical team initiating the contact. Right? There's not a whole lot of negatives. It also turns down the turnovers.
So now San Francisco, for the first time today, going to play trailing down by 7. And we'll see. I think this is an important part to this 49ers team is how they adjust from playing with the lead to playing from behind. As we see Prince Wonder going to drop back, throw into a pile. I mean, just a gaggle of Raiders over there, if that's the right word for it. Matthew Rogers, though, goes up and over to come up with the first down grab.
Yeah, we've seen him targeted a ton. They do a corner route there. They throw it very quickly, though, as maybe they saw a little seam in the defense, able to take advantage of it.
Here is Trunan Dunn now, trying to duplicate some of that halfback magic that Ashton Genty's had in this game so far. He picks up 5. He comes shooting out of the gate.
There we go. Keeping things balanced for San Francisco, going pass and then run, right? Just staying ahead of the chains by any means necessary. And now they're reaching that point in the field where we've seen both of these teams stall out. So they just got to keep it going through this midfield mark.
5 yards to go here for the 49ers. They rely on Dunn once more. Great blocking out front, I might add. Picking up the first, ensuring that this drive will continue as they go past the midfield mark.
Yeah, there we go. A nice handoff off the middle. 62 making a terrific block, as well as Jay Balmer from the tight end spot getting out ahead, blocking the safety that was incoming. Just under 4 yards of carry, but Trunan Dunn has been very nice so far for San Francisco.
Got up to 50 yards on the day. Got that touchdown early in this one. And he's only getting better as the game goes on. Again, the blocking just stellar out front. And he hits the gaps with such urgency. Hard to bring down after that first initial burst of speed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's when he's like a bowling ball. Not a whole lot when it's, sitting there idle. But once it gets rolling, it does a lot of damage.
High formation here for Prince Wonder. Tosses it out. Left side. Dunn going to try to make the cut. Can't do it. Coming in like a heat-seeking missile was Tater Tots to get the stop, and it's now 3rd and 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is what San Francisco, they live for, especially when Trunan Dunn is on like he is today.
Keep an eye on Matthew Rogers moving from left to right. Here is Dunn. Bottled up behind the line, and they're going to get him back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing more. There's DJ again. Kilgannon with a good day at the office.
Yeah, that was a big stop that they needed. And, coming in from the safety spot to be able to make that sort of, play is exactly the sort of momentum you need in your favor. And again, they faked it! Oh,
it's
my goodness.
First, probably, and it's batted down. Oh,
everybody blew the Raiders. Oh, come on.
They had the guts to go for it there.
Look at it. He just tried to heave it. That was
he's scared for his life.
He was terrified. I would be too, those two big
guys. I was going to say, wouldn't you be?
Man. Like a deer in headlights. He'd know what to do.
Oh, man.
Oh, what an exciting play.
He's like, Mama said, just throw it.
Yeah.
It's like when in doubt.
Mama always said.
That's right, Mama. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this.
I do.
Oh, look at that. And making them pay due to that is a floater over the middle connecting with Trevor Austin. DJ, they would have been better to just lined up and gave it to Dunn to fight for the yard.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, partner. I think that's the better situation for him, especially with how that ended up.
Well, let's just keep the puns going, right? Brady White to Trevor Austin. That's like peas and carrots. Here
Oh
is
yeah.
Brady White with the throw off the mark and incomplete.
Yeah, no, the Raiders pulling a little bit away from the balanced offense they shown earlier. Maybe lean into that a bit now that you have the lead. I feel like.
Yeah, that is. It felt like, and we'll pick this up after this play, but this is a point I want to get back to as we see, a little bit of motion here. You see Trevor Austin moving over to the left side, going to put three receivers up that way. White throws, it's batted down again. Big number 93 in on the stop there, DJ.
Yeah, I mean there was another very congested, risky throw there from Brady. I mean that's why Gunslinger fits him so well because he doesn't care who's in the area. If he sees a little sliver of daylight, he's firing it as hard as he can into that spot and hopes his receiver pulls it in.
You know, to the point that I wanted to make, my friend, is that it's interesting. The 49ers certainly felt like they needed to do something different there to keep up with the pace of these Raiders. Definitely, I think that shows the respect they have of the Raiders, knowing that they're going to have to pull out all the stops really to go toe to toe with them. As this is a delayed handoff, and on third down we see them try this play again. The defense is there to defend nicely.
I mean, again, forcing a stop here for the 49ers defense. I mean, they're showing up in a big way, Cam. We've seen a few drives for Oakland where they've been able to put things together, but San Francisco hasn't made it easy at all.
Yeah, now this punt is going to hang up there pretty good and bounce out somewhere around the 15-yard line. So the 49ers will have their work cut out for them. But yeah, I think that playing from behind, I posed that question, DJ. Is playing from behind going to cause the 49ers to maybe do some drastic things in order to try to keep up with Oakland? I actually think the fake punt was one of those things.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Santiago Jaquez in motion. And I really don't think that the fake punt maybe was the right play call or the right time for it, as we have done, bouncing off the right tackle over there to pick up 3.
You see that? That's how you pick up 1, 2, 3 yards. I mean, you just got to hand it off to him. He'll get them,
Yeah,
right? Do
yeah.
that on that 4th and 1.
That's what I would have done. The guy's moving to,
Yeah.
and honestly, the offensive line is moving too nicely right now. Wonder going to throw short, but that was not much room for error, as it is Rodgers who snags that one out of the hands of a would-be Raider defender and gets the first.
I'll tell you what, partner, something that's coming to mind. We talked about people, pulling onto the scene as people that are pivotal roles in this offense and defense for San Francisco. We talked about it with Armani Lassiter earlier, how he's shown up on the scene and been very pivotal for them. Matthew Rogers, another guy who is just, I mean, there you go, a huge catch
Exhibit
on the
A.
corner. Yeah, another guy who just, as the season has gone on, has really cemented himself as the guy in San Francisco. After, the Turkey Bowl we had in those first few weeks, I thought Santiago Jaquez was going to be a guy that was talked about weekly, consistently. But he's kind of, taking a back seat, letting Matthew Rogers perform at a very high level.
Yeah, it really feels like the turning point for Matthew Rogers came when, what was it, maybe a week or two after that Turkey Bowl. So we're talking first 5 weeks of the season at least.
Yeah.
Santiago went out hurt, if you remember, as Dunn gets back to the line of scrimmage. But Santiago Jaquez goes out hurt, and they have to say, all right, Rogers, it's your time up, next man mentality. And if he didn't just go out there and absolutely ball that day, I believe that was against the Giants, if I'm not mistaken, and just put on a show. Ever since then, it feels like, this top wide receiver candidate has certainly been perceived differently in the 49ers camp as Dunn gets a couple.
And an interesting point to make, Cam, is if memory serves me right, in Jaquez's best game being that Turkey Bowl, I believe he was playing with a different quarterback.
Indeed, he was. He was. And I believe as we see that, tight window there on third down, they don't pick up the first. That is huge right there. Rodgers was the intended target.
Yeah, I mean, just again, getting congested around the midfield logo. We're seeing both teams fall to this spell quite a bit in this game and a little bit too risky here for the Niners, maybe to go for it. Let's see if Ford drops back again. He won't. He knows his role.
No, no, he'll stick to what he does best, and boy, he does a good job of that. Look at this,
Oh, he
going to
sure
pin him
does.
deep.
Oh, what a
Oh
play.
no,
They call
are
it
they going to
back?
say? Was that a touchback?
I hope not. Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
criminal. I
yeah,
thought he
they're
got
going.
that for sure.
I did too, but I
Bad.
was afraid that the very nose of the football went over the goal line, and I believe it
Mm,
did.
yeah.
Boy, football really is a game of fractions, isn't it? I mean, and
Oh,
just a
yeah.
game of inches. Brady White going to throw now. It is too low for Dillian Voss. And Voss has been wanting a flag all night
You read
long.
my
Not happy with the.
mind.
Yeah, he's not happy with the way he's being guarded today.
Yeah, and it's Storm Duck the one. Every time he calls for that, it's Storm Duck in very physical coverage. Clearly some frustration falling over Voss at this point.
Name of the game, no doubt. I formation here. We got White. Going to draw back throw. This time he has his
Oh,
man
there
down the
goes.
same. Can they catch him? The only question left. Lassiter on his way, not going to do it. The
Wow.
Raiders extend the lead. Touchdown.
Another huge explosive play from Trevor Austin and cementing himself even clearer into that wide receiver one role. Brady taking the pressure like a champ, connecting over the middle, deep in those split safeties. You see them both try to play catch up there, but all they can taste is the dust coming off of Trevor Austin's cleats.
You know, we knew it was going to happen at some point today. Brady White was going to have that one beauty of a throw. And this time, it took till a minute 35 left in the third, but he's able to connect with Austin. The extra point now. Good. It is now a 2-touchdown game. 2 plays, 80 yards. That's all it took. 14 seconds off the clock for the Raiders to extend their lead. All right. So, for the first time today, we've got the 49ers who are trailing by 2 scores. And it's go time in that 49ers camp after 2 straight turnovers as far as having to punt it away and then the failed punt, or fake punt rather. They're going to have to try to find a way to come up with some points as you see a very happy Brady White on the sidelines.
Yeah, and you got to give him some credit. He has cleaned up very nicely, right? Like an ugly stepbrother coming to a wedding, right? Not to say he is, but he's certainly sharpened himself up, gave him a nice comb over, and in this second half, he's cleaned up the interceptions and he's been throwing some great passes.
Yeah, indeed. Down by 2 scores. Here comes Prince Wonder. Got to turn on the heat here. Finds Jaquez. 8 yards on first down. Nothing wrong with that. Hard to complain about that.
Yeah, I mean, those hitch routes have been working all night for San Francisco. And in response, we usually see Oakland drop a safety down to play shallow. They will again on this close side to us.
Final minute of this third quarter. The give is to Dunn once more. Bouncing off tackle. They're going to say he is able to get the first down. And you got to wonder if that little spot there was to make up for the inerrant spot earlier in the game.
Yeah.
Yes, I remembered that. Because that was a generous spot.
Yeah. See, I got to train you in hating the refs. You got to hold those grudges in your heart.
There you go. Maybe it's the jet lag making me grumpy. I don't know, but it's working. Wonder throwing hitch route complete to Jaquez for 7.
You know what's funny, Cam? I don't even remember what started this beef with me and Boston refs. I'm sure it was for the Boston Rebels at some point.
Indeed.
But,
It was definitely the Rebels. It was a year that would live in infamy. And I'm trying to think. I feel like it was an egregious pass interference call.
It wouldn't shock me.
No, I believe it was. And I think it did have a turning point in that game, if I'm not mistaken. In this game, we're moving to quarter number 4, folks. Raiders leading the Niners 21-7. It's the AFA on YouTube. Cameron Duty here with you, with my buddy DJ Kilgannon. Big shout out to Brady White and the entire staff of the AFA who is able to put this show on for us each and every week. Always a pleasure. Here's Prince Wonder. Gonna throw. Complete. They needed
Oh!
that. Reversing course is Matthew Rogers.
Man, he just continues to put on a 10 out of 10 performance today. Great run after catchability, catches it in tight space, able to get away from the defenders, and then eventually finds Van Lacey along that sideline.
Yeah, he did. And, you and I have had a pretty good opportunity to speak this week of the AFA about teams coming down the pipe, teams that needed to straighten things up, kind of clean up the little errors and mistakes. As we see a run by Dunn here, he gets a couple. They're going to say 3. But, we talked about what teams need to work on. The 49ers, we talked about how really they need to work on keeping pace throughout the game. Now, they'll start out hot right out of the gate, but they kind of fall flat as this game goes on. This may be another example of that, unless they could turn it around. There's Rogers, rather, just doing everything he can anyway.
Yeah, that sentiment you shared fits in their entire game plan as well as their drives, right? This is the area of the field we see them start to struggle in once they reach it. So let's see if they can fight that rhetoric and stay consistent, like we've talked about a lot tonight.
Pressure is coming. Wonder throws. Oh, he had a man. And, you're going to credit the defense. And, well, now you see Santiago Jaquez not happy with the way he was defended against. It has been a very physical game for the most part. The refs have let them play, but I think everything's all clean up to this point.
I will say this. In my mind, I looked up to see if that flag marker was up there on the scoreboard because it seemed a little early, but the refs didn't like it. Oh, wow. That's
you got to imagine that's going to come back. They're going to call it a fumble, and you see Prince Wonder trying his best. But there was no way that was a football move in my eyes.
I didn't even think someone caught it. Looked like, I don't even know who it was. It looked like Tots maybe batted it down. I mean, we'll get another look here.
No, I mean, it really kind of come off the hands of Jaquez.
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly going to see it pulled back, I would imagine. We got to see a challenge here. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, indeed we will. All right,
I
refs,
wouldn't even call that possession before. That's just incomplete. I mean, don't even think about it too hard.
Officials, I'm just going to speak to you directly. I'm trying to not give you a bad rep with DJ. We've already, went over days gone by. There's no way you can call this a fumble. There's no way.
Yeah. No.
Which I think's kind of the irony. We were just talking about calls that were head scratchers.
The receiver did have possession.
What?
San Francisco will be charged a timeout.
Wow.
Down Oakland.
Might have to change my hate train. I don't know. That was awful. Go ahead and find me. That's all right. I mean, that was a terrible call. Wow. This is the home referees, too. They're getting booed out of the stadium right now.
Oh, God. Wow. Not many things make me speechless. I had no... All right, 1st and 10. Dillian Voss moving from right to left. Tangenti with the carry. The Raiders will try to take advantage of a gift that's certainly been handed to them that could end this game. And, yeah, I know. I gotta be. I'm with you guys as we look in the stands here. I'm with you.
Yeah, clear frustration. Look at the charts. I mean, that's pretty right hand heavy.
Yeah. How about Ashton Gentian and what a day he has had. And over the century mark, deservedly so. Great day. 6:20 remaining in the 4th. And fighting hard again is Tangenti. He adds a couple more to his stat sheet. Brings up 3rd and 3. Yeah, I mean, there's and the fact that we continue to pan to the crowd.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him. The cameraman he knows what he's doing.
He knows.
I live for it. The drama starting. It's my favorite.
Somebody put me on mute. Here's Brady White. Gonna throw it. He's got his man. It's Trevor Austin. across the 30.
There we go. Oakland continuing a terrific second half of offensive production. Brady White has cleaned things up. His receivers seem to be pulling everything in after a pretty rough first half of play.
Folks, you would understand if you were up here in the booth with me. This man's this man's disdain for the zebra stripes is
Oh, that's what you're
it's
laughing about?
therapy I can't get over.
I thought you were laughing about it panning to the fans.
Well, that too. I mean, it
I
all
didn't
kind of goes back to that.
I didn't realize
You know.
it was me. I would have kept doing it to make you laugh more.
Well, I mean, what was the irony? We just talked about, what got this hatred started, and then we see,
Calls like that
yeah,
are what got it started. I'm going to do
That's
some
gonna-
research and get to the bottom of it after this game.
that's going to go down in the Hall of Fame for bloopers, no doubt. Here's Tangenti with the carry across the 30, brings up 3rd and 7. And, for the Raiders now, they've got a game to try to seal the deal with here, and they can do it. 4:45 remaining in the fourth. They are in field goal range here, DJ.
Yep, they sure are. And I mean, after this first down, I'd think about start injecting the run a little bit more into your offense here.
Brady White hands off to Tangenti, moves the pile.
Oh.
Look, dragging him along with him. They're going to say he's inches short. If it's me, and I know if it's you, you're going to line up and run for it. Now, we may see the field goal, but I would go for that, baby.
I absolutely would. They're probably doing the smart thing, though, and extending their lead to more than it already was, right? You're making it a 3-possession ball game rather than this is if it goes in.
Yeah, that's my fear.
Oh,
just enough.
Just sails in.
Yeah, you had that breeze coming off the bay there, liking to push these balls, a little bit to the right, and just enough gets that past the crossbars. So 24-7 here. Oakland may have done just enough to ensure their victory in this one. They get points off of turnover because that will be credited as a fumble. And the 49ers will start from the 27. All right, DJ, here we go. The 49ers, right now it's about putting up points fast if you can. We've yet to really see the 49ers able to do that this year. Get, big yardage, big chunks in split-second decisions. We'll see what they can do. Wonder going to throw to the flat. That's incomplete. Led his man a little too far.
Yeah, we're going to need some very explosive plays. We're going to need Matthew Rogers to break away on a few deep balls, or Santiago Jacquez to do the Trevor Austin special where he just runs free.
Second and 10. Here's Wonder with time just off the mark. And again, I think this kind of goes back to the point that we made. The timing, everything, the pacing just kind of falls off in these third and fourth quarters for the 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the consistency issues and being able to complete games and drives, and that's just becoming even more apparent as this game continues. Their offense just seeming to deflate very, very slowly. It's like a nail got stuck in a tire. Oh, man.
Off the fingertips. Yeah. Tater Tots just about had an interception to his credit. That does bring up 4th and 10 as we get another crowd shot.
They're still pissed off about it.
An extended crowd shot to beat it off. Yeah. Are you trying to say something, cameraman?
Yeah, I like this guy.
Rebelling against the broadcasting norms here. It's 4th and 10. It's an empty set. Prince Wonder going to come up with a wonderful play, and it is way off the mark. You see Haynes celebrating there. That was a total disruption of a drive. And, the Raider fans here are happy in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah, and there's plenty of them. These feels like these guys are practically neighbors, right? I mean, the Battle of the West Coast here in the AFA, and the Raiders have certainly won that battle today. Just need to run it a few more times. The first down, they'll probably punch it in again, with how their offense speeds up as games progress. I mean, they're almost polar opposite to the Niners. Their offense gets better, and their team gets better as the game progresses.
Yeah, indeed. And you know what, DJ? This really is the perfect summation of the phrase "a tale of two halves."
Yeah, absolutely, partner.
It felt as if we went into the greater portion of that first half, uh, all knotted up, and then the Raiders just able to take over, and that's what championship caliber teams can do. The way I see it, DJ, as we continue to watch the clock run off the board here, the way I see it, yeah, Brady White had the two interceptions, but when did he have them? Early in the game, when
Yep.
it come down to it, able to clean up all the mistakes, and then you start to see this team play that really very seamless complementary football.
Yeah, absolutely. And the comeback kid, as I've called him in the past, is he just performs so well come the later quarters. I've seen him come back from games that there's no reason he should. Like we had mentioned in the other broadcast of the evening, this is a former champion in another league. He can get things done, and his crunch time, if you will, is coming. And that crunch time is the postseason.
Yeah, and it's going to be exciting because that is when Brady White plays his best football, and the playoffs are coming next week, folks. And it's a good time to bring up the fact, as we see Tangenti with a run, it's a good time to bring up the fact that all four teams, all four franchises here in the AFA will be represented in the playoff format. So even the Giants, who we know are at the bottom of the standings, as we take a break here for the 2-minute warning, we know the Giants are at the bottom of the standings. They will be part of this. The 49ers will be in this. Yeah, there's still an opportunity for some teams to get hot. And, but it's going to take a lot to try to keep pace with a team such as the Oakland Raiders. But hey,
Yep.
as long as there's time out there for improvements to be made, it's anybody's chance.
Yep, completely agree with you there, partner. It's at the end of the day, anyone can win any given week. As the famous quote goes, any given sim day, it
Hmm.
can go in anyone's favor. Think about if this game didn't have those early interceptions or those penalties, right?
Yeah.
This could be a much different looking ball game. And despite the scoreboard, this game felt a lot closer than it's showing.
And, to the fact you start seeing the 49ers burn through their timeouts. But, let's also mention this here too, DJ. That last 3 points, um, that they really shouldn't have existed.
Yeah.
So really you are looking at a 21-7 game. Now for the 26-yard attempt, the kick is going to be right down the middle and good. 27-7 with 1:49 remaining, and the 49ers will have a chance to put some more points up on the board as like we said, they try to now at this point pad the stat sheet and just find some sort of momentum before this game ends.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've had some, we talked about it in the other broadcast as well. These two games on this evening are certainly giving some similarities, right? Feels
Yeah.
like oh wow, what a return. The losing teams not having much going for them, but there are certainly spots of emphasis to, that certainly shined in this game for the Niners. It feels like Matthew Rogers really took he's continuing the big leap he has been taking in his receiving production, right? And defensively, they were their secondary able to provide a lot of pressure in this game and force Brady into two interceptions early. Just got to keep that play consistent.
The ball on the 43-yard line for Prince Wonder and company. Here's a throw. It is complete, middle of the seam, room to run. That's Matthew Rogers, who has really had a nice day today. Certainly nothing
Yep.
on his part
No.
that would be ever even considered an error in this game. He's been a bright spot. Here is no huddle. Wonder deep throws into a really good tight coverage there by the Raiders. 3 men in the vicinity. Tater Tots again gets another deflection.
That is the 20th throw to Matthew Rogers in this game, Cam.
That's incredible. I mean,
Wow.
if that doesn't tell you, I mean, they definitely feel like he has cemented his status as number one wide receiver.
Yep.
Prince Warner at least thinks so. Here is a throw. It is short. It is complete. That is Tom Razor with the completion. It's 3rd and 1.
Been a little quiet from him, but nice to see him pulling another one late in this one.
Yeah, it is indeed. A little more than a minute to go here.
There
Throwing
we
for the
go.
yard. They get Razor again, right back to the same play, back to the well, if you will, inside of a minute here.
I mean, they're cutting this distance way down, already inside the 15 after just a few plays.
An urgency that we really would like to see them kind of do a little bit more in this game. I think they're a team that actually could benefit from, the no huddle or the quick run back to the line, the old K gun,
Yep.
if you will.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. We saw that production immensely there in that exact situation.
3 receivers line to the left, 1 to the bottom of your screen, and Wonder to throw. Santiago Jaquez for the touchdown. And that is where you see, I know it's late in the game, DJ, but, the defense playing maybe a little bit soft. But that right there, the best I've seen the Niners look all game.
Yeah, and it is late in the game, and we've talked about that's where they struggle a great deal. So maybe something to build on in the upcoming weeks, and that's really when it's going to matter.
So they do get this back within a 2-touchdown game with this, pending extra point. As it is up and good, you will see the 49ers have a chance to attempt an onside kick here. And that really, truly will settle this game if they can't come up with it.
Yeah, you're going to need a miracle at this point if you're the Niners. But, crazier things have happened.
Here's the onside kick. And Oakland gets it.
Yeah.
Kind of a really no contest there, huh? Right into the old bread basket of the receiver.
Oh, yeah.
And he never let it
Close.
up. Yeah.
But no cigar.
DJ, not to harp on this again, but you take away that field goal from the inerrant fumble, it would be a 24-14 game. And I'm just saying, if that play doesn't happen, San Francisco, they may be giving Oakland a little bit more to worry about late in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
Not to harp on it, but I think it's a point that's worth making there. Nevertheless, Oakland does come away here with a victory. Indeed, 27-14 as they're primed and ready for a playoff run. Obviously, sitting high atop the standings today and going into the playoffs. Going to be interesting. Final 10 seconds here, DJ, as we kick away.
One more kneel is all we need.
Brady White again with another really good game. Let's give credit to the 49ers defense that played tough in this one. In the end, just not enough. The Raiders victorious, their 8th victory of the season on only 2 losses. They've won their 3rd straight game. Actually, correction, maybe their 4th straight game. And for the 49ers, they'll go back to the drawing board because, as we said, you still got a chance in this postseason schedule here. So a lot to still think about, even though the 49ers pick up the loss. Welcome to the AFA post-game report. Pretty even game across the board, but in the end, it's those turnovers that make the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see San Francisco even led in time of possession. The Raiders just scored so quickly in this one. Things got cleaned up as the game progressed. That's the difference between a team that gets better as the game goes on and a team that gets worse as the game goes on. As far as player of the game, I feel like I got to give it to Ashton Genty. Had a great game, a great second half, really. I mean, a ton of his production really came from that second half alone.
Yeah, that it did indeed. And, of course, Tangenti, 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dunn was behind him with 72 yards and a TD. Big day at the office, of course, on defense for a lot of people, but no sacks today. How
Yep.
rare is that we see no sacks in a game? And of course, Brady White, 246 yards and the touchdown. DJ, as we get ready and move into the postseason, my friend, do you have any final thoughts? Because the next time you and I are together, we'll be in playoff mode.
Well, no thoughts, maybe some suggestions that I'll talk with Brady about off stream. We got to fire the whole ref crew, bring in some new guys, but other than that, I think I am ready for some very high stakes football, partner. I don't know about you.
Hey, let's do it, brother. It's gonna be fun. Please let me sit in the conversation there regarding the refs, if
Oh,
you
of
would.
course, of
Yeah,
course.
absolutely. Player of the game. Yeah, look who's gonna get it, and rightfully so. Trevor
The
Austin with a big
referee,
day.
the line judge will get it. No,
But
Trevor Austin was great.
one more, one more Forrest Gump pun here. You know, I don't know a lot of things, but I know what a turnover is.
Yes,
All
that's right.
right. That's going to do it, folks. It's been a blast, of course, being with you guys. Always fun. We appreciate the Brady White and everybody, this league, the lightheartedness, of course, and just great football all the way around. For Brady White, of course, my buddy DJ Kilgannon, I'm Cameron Duty. Have a good night. We'll see you in the playoffs. It's the AFA on YouTube.